play the 20-minute periods without a whistle, and they'll really test you physically. Here we go, John.
Underway at Northlands in Edmonton. Team America fires it into the Soviet zone. And it's a shot from the point by Chelios. Now the Soviets take over. Kazantzov, number 7. For Larionov. And it's in across the United States blue line. Larionov going after it for the Soviet Union. Soviets in control, back of the net, right out in front, and they score quickly. It looked like Tom Barrasso got out of position there. And the Soviets are on the scoreboard in the opening 40 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you something. I was watching one play, and I expected it to come out the way. This is the hidden ball trick right here. Look at it. There's the Soviet player. He just lost the puck, and the Soviet player going the opposite way. Just take a look at this. And the Soviets did send 3 players in. That was the key. They forechecked, and the Soviet player coming with the puck towards us. The other fellow was going the other way, circled around, and as you said, Barrasso was just moving the wrong way. That's a heck of a play. First time I've ever seen it.
The assist to number 9, Vladimir Krutov, and number 11, Igor Larionov. The time, 22 seconds.
22 seconds, the time of the first goal for the Soviet Union. Americans calling on the outside of the Soviet blue line. Makarov getting credit for the first goal.
Okay, folks, now we'll look at it. Now we really know what was going on out there, but it took me twice before I realized what had happened. Now, the puck will go behind the net, coming towards us. Now, watch Makarov coming the other way. Look at this. This is the first time I've ever seen it. He was standing in behind the net, come out of nowhere, picked it up, and look where Barrasso was. Barrasso was like everybody here in the building, waiting for the Soviet player to come out the far side with the net, with the puck that was in the net. Whew. They always show you something different, John. They're amazing, amazing athletes.
Here they come again, led by Varnakov. The Americans trying to regroup in their own zone. Bobby Carpenter gets it up on the boards. Center ice zone. Picked up by Varnakov again for the Soviets. By the left side. Nowhere to go that time. Out across the line. Fired back in by Tom Hirsch. And Starikov behind his own net for the Soviet Union. Ahead for Varnakov. And a long pass to the far side. Failed to click. Makarov over there. Couldn't control it. This is Langway. Langway for Hirsch and back for Langway. Rod Langway of the Washington Capitals gets it into the center ice zone. Chance for the Americans. They can't capitalize. Taken out heavily that time was Brian Lawton. Soviets regrouping behind their own line. Kovin head on the right side. And now for Varnakov. Varnakov into the corner. And Varnakov reclaims the rebound. Back to the point. Kept in there by Zubkov. The Americans cleared to the center ice zone. Varnakov once more. Number 19 for the Soviet Union. Hits it by Chelios. And back for the Americans is Gordy Roberts. For Chelios. Across his own line to the center ice area. And the play fails to click for the Americans. This is Vasiliev. And Vasiliev puts a line mate offside at the American blue line. It's 1-0 for the Soviet Union. A quick goal just 22 seconds in. And the Soviets have a 1-0 lead on the United States. This is Canada Cup 84 on TSN.
Here's the injury here. It's just a pretty good cross-check. Zubkov was standing there looking the other way, and the Canadian player just come up and cross-checked him across the shoulders. He acted it out. I don't think he was hurt that bad at all, but he let everybody know, building.
Back to live action now. Here's Mark Johnson trying to split that Soviet defense. Soviets come right back. This is Krutov. Krutov for Larionov. Can't get a shot away. And it's claimed by Braian Trottье. Trottье down the left side. Dumps it in behind the Soviet goal. Pervukin back there for the Soviets. Ahead for Larionov. Larionov at the American blue line. Can't get a shot away as he's wrestled down by Mike Ramsey of the Buffalo Sabres. There's a shot. Barrasso handled it easily from the point. Cleared to the center ice area once more. And the Soviets tried a nifty play there. It didn't quite work. Here come the Americans. Trottье going to the backhand right out in front. No one was there for Team USA. Langway fires the shot. Oh! What a glorious opportunity that time for Joe Mullen, who was parked right beside Vladimir Mышкин for the Soviets. Along the boards. And cleared right back in by Team USA. They have some pressure on now, the Americans do. This is Aaron Broughton, number 23, out in front for Neil Broughton. Now, Aaron Broughton around behind the net, out in front for Mullen. And Mullen just put it wide on the far side. Vervoekinen in along the boards against Mullen. And it comes free. Neil Broughton. Center ice for the Soviets, Krutov. He can't get anything going. And now Aaron Broughton claims it for the United States once more. Broughton in across the line. And he was watched very closely by Bilялетдинов. And we're going to have a penalty coming up here. Soviet Union in a 1-0 lead on the USA.
4 minutes, 7 seconds.
Bilялетdinov has himself a 2-minute penalty. Very, very foolish. Referee Ron Wicks let him go on 2 minor hooking penalties. And finally, he took one that cost him.
Chelios gets a shot away from the blue line. It's blocked and carried out into the center ice zone by the Soviets. Held along the boards there. There'll be a face-off.
On that last shift, John, Joe Mullen had 2 excellent scoring chances. One in particular on a shot along the edge from the point by Lengway. All he had to do was bank it in. They had the goaltender just out to lunch, and he just put it behind the goalie and out the other side. You cannot miss chances like that against this very, very good Soviet team.
The Americans on the power play. First penalty of the night. Soviets have the lead 1-0 on Team USA. It's Neil Broughton at center ice for the Americans. Face-off just outside the Soviet line. Broughton going against Semyonov. Soviets win the draw, taking it back into their own zone. Now Phil Housley of the Buffalo Sabres. And Langway behind their own line. Langway decides to bring it out. At center ice, Langway in across the line. And he can't get him to make a play there. Now the Soviets have a break. Penalty coming up.
Well, you know, many, many times the Canadian or North American or NHL teams are criticized for shooting it in when they have a man advantage. This time they absolutely had to do it. The Soviets were lined up 4 along the blue line. Then a back pass almost cost them a goal. That was a pretty good penalty, and I would kind of question maybe a penalty shot. Certainly he had a free and easy pass right to the goal. He risked getting over the stick there, but there's the hook, and a little bit of a dive. There's no way in the world that a stick that lightly on the hip should pull him down, but it did.
So Neil Broughton sits out the next 2 for pulling down Sergei Svenlov. And it's even up. 4 skaters aside. Back into the Soviet zone now. Varnakov, number 19, to the American line. Can't control it there, but it's kept in by the Soviets. Zubkov. Zubkov winds up with a shot. Barrasso to save. Now the Americans out across the line. Center ice area. Can't control there. Kasitonov for the Soviets. And it's back into their zone. Kasitonov behind his own goal, ahead on the left wing boards. And Carpenter claims it for Team USA. 14:43 to play, opening period. Cleared down the ice, and Barrasso out of his net to set it up for Gordy Roberts. Roberts too far with that pass. The shot ends up right on Mushkin's stick. Soviets regroup in their own zone. This is Mikhail Vasilyev down the left side, getting set for the shot. And it's off Langway's stick and high into the corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, tickets for the Canada Cup game.
Well, there's Rod Langway, plays for Washington, but players from all other NH teams are amazed at his intensity and desire to have someone like that in one body. Oh, he's a rare kind of a jewel and a super hockey player.
And he has a Norris Trophy in his rec room, Howie.
That's right. But he's got all the natural and mental tools, and it's not too often you put those 2 things together.
21 seconds left in the penalty to the Soviets, 50 seconds in the penalty to Team USA. Here's a chance for the Americans. Fired wide that time by Mark Johnson. It went off the stick and into the corner. Here's Johnson coming up with it again. Johnson for Trottье. Trottье along the boards, and we'll have a whistle and a face-off in the Soviet zone.
Well, there's American coach Bob Johnson, and he has just done a tremendous job with this American team. And 99% of the time in their practices, other than good skating conditioning drills, what he has done is, hey, we practice how you play the game without the puck. We practice defense, and he's so very, very wise.
He's listing a little bit tonight, Howie. He hurt his back getting off the bus after the victory over Czechoslovakia. He says he's been hobbled for 2 days. And obviously it was a happy bus trip as they headed to Edmonton to line up against the Soviets. But Bob Johnson has a bit of a sore back. Down the ice into the American zone. It's Langway back for it, set up by Barrasso. Langway ahead for Christian. Christian couldn't control it. Stelnov for the Soviet Union. Couldn't keep it in either. Mышkin leaving it there for Starikov. Soviets down the right side, led by Krutov. Krutov left it there. The shot blocked by the American defense and cleared all the way down the ice. Shot right on Mышkin. For the Soviets, Stelnov. He has problems with two American skaters. Neil Broughton is in now. Krutov for the Soviets. Ahead for Larionov. And Barrasso plays it to the point, dangerously so. Stelnov may get a chance to get a shot away. Taken by Makarov. And now Chelios losing it right out in front. Barrasso has to come up with a big save. And Makarov was right there to claim a loose puck. Another American miscue, Howie. Could have been costly.
Well, watching behind the net, Krutov, just a super little hockey player. Look at that hard check he took along the boards by the American player, and it was thrown out front, and Barrasso really had to be good. But Krutov right here, he was the fellow that made it all possible, and we'll talk about him later on. He is perhaps their best hockey player, number 9, Vladimir Krutov.
Penalties have expired to both teams. Soviets control in the American zone. Now it's ahead for Brook. Brook gets it back behind his own goal. And starting out back there, Mike Ramsey of the Buffalo Sabres in the center ice zone. This is Brook. Brook across the Soviet line, right out in front, going in. And that time, David A. Jensen couldn't control it for the Americans. Jensen did not see action against the Czechs the other night. He replaces Bryan Mullen in the lineup for the U.S. tonight. Mike Ramsey flips it up and over the boards. Americans a little cautious tonight, Howie. They seem to be making a few mistakes.
Well, yes, they are. They're having trouble handling the puck, and I don't know whether that's the speed of the Soviets putting a little extra pressure on them or not. But, you know, the one big difference everybody says, and I keep saying it all along, that really the difference in talents between the two countries now is the Soviets and most European teams handle the puck at high speed much better than North American teams. That's not true in all cases, but watch so far tonight. The passing of the Soviets is very, very quick and normally right on the stick.
Soviets control after the face-off in the American zone. Finally, it's back to the point now. Zubkov has it, fires it in behind the American goal, and racing over for it. Langway. Langway tries to clear it. He can't. Now, it's Olczyk. Ed Olczyk holding it along the boards for another face-off.
Soviets, surprisingly, when they have a chance at the puck, are sending one to and he impressed me very, very much with his ability to get home free, to arrive in open ice the same time as the puck, and that is a rare talent as well. Watch the Soviets forecheck.
Sorry, Howie. Olczyk has 3 assists in the Canada Cup so far. Another of the American Olympians from '84 in Sarajevo. There are 10 former Olympians on this American team from Lake Placid and from Sarajevo. They're both from Sarajevo most recently. Langway from the faceoff, around behind his own goal. Tom Hirsch is back there for it. Now, ahead of the American line. And a right side pass for Carpenter, number 9. Carpenter taken out of the play neatly by Zubkov. Zubkov ahead for Kovin. Back for Zubkov. Now Langway takes over for the Americans. In across the Soviet line. And now the Soviets with a chance. 3-on-2 in across the line, and that play never really materialized for the Soviet Union. The Americans in control, back behind their own line. Makarov. Well, the Soviets keeping it in. Kovin gets a shot. Now the backhand try. That's from the stick of Varnakov. A little sloppy here at the stage of the opening period. 11 minutes, 13 seconds to play. And the USSR leading the USA 1-0 at this stage of a crucial hockey game for both teams. Both have qualified for the playoffs, but they're battling for top spot in the round-robin tournament this evening here in Edmonton. John Wells along with Howie Meeker back at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. This is Canada Cup '84. Tonight, the Soviet Union and the United States. We're in period 1. Still lots of time remaining in the first period. Soviet Union from the faceoff, led down by Vasilyev. Vasilyev gets set for the shot. Barrasso backed in a little bit, but made the save. Now, Chris Chelios, Montreal Canadiens, tries the center ice area, lost it momentarily. Now he comes up with it again. Chris Chelios losing it now. The Soviets The Stebnikov, 29, fires wide. Back to claim it for the USSR, Starikov, Sergei Starikov. And again, loose in the neutral zone. Braian Trottье for the Americans. Long pass on the right side. Mullen going in. Sharp angle. Couldn't get a good shot on it. Trottье reclaimed. Back behind the goal for Mullen. Mullen trying to work himself out in front and fell in doing so. The Americans with a little pressure on now. Keep it in. Mullen still behind the goal and can't get it out. This is Stельнов for the Soviet Union, holding it along the boards against two American players. And they're not going to whistle it down. Now Mullen coming up with it. Mullen gets it out in front. Back for Trottье. He fired it just wide. Good setup pass by Mark Johnson. Soviets to the line and out now. Intercepted center ice area by Mike Ramsey. Back to his own blue line for Housley. Housley circles at center ice. For Aaron Broughton. Broughton the shot right on. Mышкин, an easy save. What about the goaltenders tonight? Howard, does Barrasso look just a little tentative after letting in that quick goal?
Oh, I don't think he should bother him. He has enough confidence. He's a cocky youngster and all the self-assurance in the world, and he has a tremendous talent to go along with it. I suspect he has a couple of flaws at 19, but so far, no one's proven that they can beat him on the points where I think he might be a little weak, and Mышkin hasn't had anything to save yet. The one good chance he had, they put behind him.
Langway from the point, the shot right on. Mышkin the save. Handcuffed him for a second. This is Krutov for the Soviets. In behind the American goal. Fed around behind by Neil Broughton. Cleared out in front. Langway tries to control it and does. Langway. It's ahead for Broughton now. Aaron Broughton. His shot off the board as he cleared it in. Larionov. Ahead on the right side for Krutov. Krutov got away from one check, two checks. Right back to the point now. Pervukin can't get a shot away. Larionov, number 11 for the Soviets. And the Americans finally gain control and start out from their own zone. Aaron Broughton dumping it down into the Soviet area. And teams change on the go. Here's Makarov, number 24. For Larionov, his shot wide. Jensen starts out for the Americans. In across the Soviet line, offside. So the score, USSR 1 and USA nothing. We'll continue in a moment. Back for a face-off just outside the Soviet line. And from the face-off, Chelios fires it in for the Americans. Racing in after it, Christian. Now Bob Brook. And it's underneath Vladimir Kovin, so we'll have a face-off once more in the Soviet zone. This telecast is protected by copyright and is intended of the Sports Network is strictly prohibited. Jensen for the Americans working against Ksatonov. Jensen loses. Soviets start out. Here's an opportunity. Svetlov going right in. Kept at the last possible second by Gordy Roberts from behind. Another shot. Svetlov once more went to the backhand that time. Now the Americans regroup and start out of their own zone. This is Chelios. Chelios ahead this time for Bob Brook. Brook can't get a shot away as he's tied up rather impressively by Zubkov.
Gee whiz, can't that Svetlov motor? He just went around Roberts like a hoop around a barrel. Oof.
This is Canada Cup 84 on TSN. Brian Lawton of the United States lines up against Vladimir Kovan of the Soviet Union. Face-off just outside the Soviet line. From the draw to Stельнов, and it's cleared down the ice. After it, Phil Housley. Housley has it go off a Soviet skate ahead for Carpenter. Now for Lawton, who clears it to the neutral zone. Soviets in control back there. Picked up by Varnakov. Varnakov gets the shot. And Barrasso hangs on that time.
And the young man you're looking at there, Phil Housley, plays for Buffalo. Or maybe half a step behind. But sooner or later, that youngster's going to learn that, hey, playing defense is just as much fun and just as important as playing offense. And when he does, he's an all-star. Can't stop him. And he's just 20.
and he's got 50 goals in just 2 NHL seasons, so he's off to a great start in National Hockey League action. Soviets in the American zone. The shot partially blocked and picked up now for the Americans by Mike Ramsey. Ramsey around behind his own goal. This time it's Housley once more. Ramsey back behind his own goal and picked up there by Joe Mullen. Mullen. Now it's center ice. Soviets line up at that blue line. It's tough to penetrate.
We have to shoot it in. No way in the world you're going to carry it through a red brick wall.
Another opportunity for the Soviets right out in front. And that time, Kosevnikov couldn't quite get his shot away. For the USA, Phil Housley across the line. They've dumped it in this time, Howie. Trottье racing after it. The shot to the side of the net. Mышкин makes the save and hangs on. Not a great scoring opportunity, but they did get a shot.
There's number 29, Kosevnikov, and what we want you to do later on, folks, is look at his stick. He's about 6'6". He reminds me of Peter Mahavlich. He skates all over the ice. His knees go one way, his legs go the other. But he shaved the toe of his stick down as well as the heel of his stick. And I would think at the very tip of the blade, it's only maybe 2 inches high. And, you know, that basically is not good, but he handles it very well.
Stand-off in the draw, face-off between Broughton and Larionov. This is Broughton forced to take it back to his own line. And it's whistled down.
I think the Americans are just playing it cozy. If they're going to do anything with the Soviet team at all tonight, they just have to shoot it in and go in and muck it up a little bit, take the body, and hope for the very, very best. As it is now, the Americans are skating a little better. Well, there's Krutov. We'll talk about him a little later on. I'm sorry I missed it, but he is some kind of hockey player. Just keep your eye on him, especially when he comes late.
Langway over for Hirsch, just across the American line. Hirsch reclaims it and skates back inside. Hirsch off the boards. It'll go all the way down. And icing is called as Zubkov touches it for the Soviet Union. The United States trailing the USSR 1-0. We're still in the first period in Edmonton. So far in this first period, the Soviet Union has outshot the United States 6-4. 5 minutes, 52 seconds remain to play in the opening period. Now, Brook for the United States tries to get it across the line. Finally, it slips across. Jensen takes it back. This is Chris Chelios. Chelios flips it ahead. 3 American skaters after the puck. Back for it. Kazatona over on the right side. And the Soviets come quickly out. Larionov, number 11, to the American line, and he's ridden out of the play by Roberts. Trailing Krutov, couldn't make a play.
Look at 3 Soviets right in there close, and look at the defenseman number 7 come in and pinch. Oof, they've got 4 fellas within 25 feet.
Chelios holding it along the boards. Now it comes free over on the right side. Backing around behind the American goal, and Roberts working against Krutov. They hold it there for a face-off.
Gemini crickets are there for disciplined hockey players, but here we got number 9, Krutov. Just watch him. He's small. He's built like a fire hydrant. He's got tremendous upper body strength with super quick feet. He can handle the puck, cut either way, make plays, but his key is he comes late, comes late, comes late. And when he's coming under a full head of steam, and you had better be backing up or skating with him. He's just a great little hockey player.
Krutov has 1 goal and 3 assists in this Canada Cup tournament so far. 24 years old. Semyonov at center for the Soviet Union. He comes up with it. Semyonov played it around behind the American goal. Now comes right out. Takes a shot. Barrasso was there. I think it hit the side of the mesh. Mike Ramsey has problems now. The Americans take over in their own zone. Carpenter, good pass to the right side. Watt back for Carpenter and just failed to click. Stelnov for the Soviets, fired into the corner by Soviet Union once more. Stelnov fanned on his shot from the point. Now it's Svetlov. Svetlov, number 16. Hit hard as he cleared it around to the other point. This time it's Starikov. Starikov. Really not much on that shot. Stelnov pinching in, number 4. Back to the point. Yashin, shot right on. Barrasso to save. Now Lawton. And it's whistled down. Penalties coming up. Referee in charge tonight is Ron Wicks.
Well, I'll tell you something. Team USA had better get a wiggle on. Two ways. Skating, they can do that, but taking the man, if anything, it's the Soviet Union that's doing most of the checking, taking the body most of the time, and initiating contact. And it has to be the other way around if the Americans are going to do anything at all.
4 minutes and 3 seconds to play in the first period. Soviets lead the Americans 1-0 here at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton.
John, they're so cute, too. They just get that puck out to the point. They send one man in front then to not mainly occupy the goaltender, maybe screen him, but take the defenseman out who's supposed to be there. And then they slip someone else in front of him, and he's home free like the birds. It has to work for him sooner or later.
33, Tom Barrasso. 2 minutes for slashing. The time, 15 minutes, 57 seconds.
And Barrasso's Buffalo Sabre teammate Phil Housley will sit this one out for the American goaltender. Soviet Union on the power play. In across the American line. Despite some confusion. And the Americans clear it all the way down. Mышkin out of his goal. Vladimir Mышkin, 29 years old. A backup for so many years to the great Vladislav Tretjak. This is Gordy Roberts for Team USA. Roberts off the boards to center ice. Picked up there by Pervukin. And he gets it ahead for Vasiliev. Vasiliev taken out along the boards. Back to Vasiliev now. Vasiliev around behind the net for Kuznikov. Vasiliev once more. And he just got away from a checkman, but from Chris Chelios. Chelios shaken up on the play. Chelios heads to the American bench. 55 seconds left in the Soviet power play. This is Larionov. Still has it. Larionov shoots it into the American zone. Barrasso out to play it along the boards. That is clear. This is Dave Christian. Christian going in. And get a shot away. Neatly checked from behind. Far side now. Soviets come right back. This is Krutov. Being shadowed by Langway. Point. Zubkov working himself right in. Zubkov left it there for Larionov. Now to the far side. Soviets on the power play. Makarov. Back to the points. Kasatonov. Working right out front. Barrasso has to come up with a save. It trickled through his pads and was dangerously close to going in, lying on the goal crease.
Well, he has the stick and really should be playing that shot with the stick. It's just slid along the ice very, very slowly, and he was down on one knee and played with the glove, and lucky it didn't hit the inside of the glove and go in. But you know, folks, in the olden days, you have put your big, strongest, probably not so skilled hockey player on defense, and you could understand why they couldn't move. But a few moments ago, Dave Christian had a break at the center red line. He had 6 feet on Zubkov, the great big defenseman on the Soviet team, and he caught him at the top of the circle. Just a tremendous explosion of speed by Zubkov.
Teams are now back at full strength as Housley steps onto the ice after serving the slashing penalty to Tom Barrasso. So the Soviets had a couple of chances, but not really golden opportunities to move into a 2-0 lead. Back behind the Soviet line and cleared quickly to the center ice zone. Varnakov, number 19, has it taken away from him by Broughton. This is Broughton going in to Aaron Broughton. Neil Broughton to Aaron Broughton. Now Aaron Broughton gets a shot. It's deflected high and amongst position tonight from Edmonton.
Folks, something else you should look at. Look at the Soviets when they get that puck. They just first 2 strides, zip, zip, and you better catch them between that first zip, zip, or they're gone. Talk about acceleration.
And here's an example of it again. Svetlov in across the line. Left it there for Yashin, who falls. Langway claims it for the Americans. Ahead for Brian Erickson. Erickson ahead for Broughton. Here's Broughton 2-on-1. Going in right back to Broughton. One too many passes, perhaps. As the Broughton brothers combined with a good scoring chance for the Americans. And who had the better opportunity, Howie?
Well, here's again that great back-checking. Watch this. It was a 2-on-1 break, and Aaron Broughton was 15 feet ahead right here. Look at that Soviet player come. There, the pass comes back. He was 6 feet behind him, and look at there. He's a foot in front of him when the pass comes, the return pass comes back from Brother Neil. I would think Neil had to shoot the puck, even though Mышкин was well out. Those Soviet players really can skate. That's the most impressive thing by far, so far this evening there. Tremendous acceleration.
Bobby Carpenter, center ice for the Americans. Now he loses it. And back quickly to claim it, Tom Hirsch. Hirsch gets it going for the United States. Here's Lawton. Tripped up on the play. No penalty is called. He stumbled forward more than anything else. All the way back down the ice as Hirsch goes back for Team USA. Tom Hirsch, number 22, 21-year-old, member of the Sarajevo U.S. Olympic team. He's 6'4" and 210 pounds, Howie, and they tell me he's tough.
Well, he bent out of ice before they score and make a key play. If he's successful doing that, then he's money in the bank. But he's a big guy, I'll tell you that. And if he can perform the skills like these Soviet defensemen.
Trottье got the draw, got it quickly back to Mike Ramsey. His shot wide. Ramsey back at his own blue line. Up along the right side boards. Claimed there by the Soviets. Gibayev, number 18. Kojevnikov. And loose back behind the Soviet line with just 12 seconds to play. That time, Zubkov played it out the side of his own goal. Langway tried to keep it in with 6 seconds on the clock, and he was caught.
I have to go back again to the Soviet skating. Just watch them when they get that puck. They like dance on their skates. And as I said, they're zip, and they're full head of speed. Steve, they impress me, so many things that they do, but tonight, just the difference in their skating between them and Team USA, it looks like plow horses against race horses.
The Soviets have outshot the Americans 8-4 in the opening period here in Edmonton tonight. Final game for the Americans is on Monday. They line up against Germany. The Soviets will meet Canada on Monday. And that should be it for the first period. Mышкin the shutout going.
Well, I think pretty good period of hockey for the Soviet team. I think the United States are very fortunate. 2-minute stick swinging penalty. He was very lucky the other night. He didn't get half a dozen of them, and he has to just play goal and not punish the Soviets.
Second period is underway. Mышkin clears it from behind his net. It's right out in front. The Americans had a good chance there. Trottье. Now Langway comes in from the point to keep it in for Team USA. This is Mark Johnson. Johnson back to the point. Now the Soviets on the attack. This is Krutov. We just talked about him. Krutov quickly in, trying to work around the defense. Right out in front now. Krutov missed his shot. Good opportunity for the Soviets as trailing on the play. Makarov had his chance. And they can get in scoring position. That Soviet hockey team so quickly, Howie.
Oh, just amazing. The little fella Krutov, watch, he just beats two guys and walks in right here, goes into the middle, takes the shot. Now he will be caught, checked. Now he drops it back there to the Soviet player, and he gets to a bad angle. But look at the middle open up, and look at Cruz into the top of the slot. Had it been a good pass on the fella's stick, he might have put it in because Barrasso was down and out to lunch. They just take you and take you and take you, put a halter in your nose and just lead you away and create openings.
Mouth,
and move into those openings. They're fun to watch.
Americans clearing it up the ice, back forward for the Soviets. Pervukin, number 5, icing called against Team USA. It's 1-0. The Soviets leading the Americans very early in the second period of this Canada Cup Series here at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. Soviets will play Canada in the final game of the round robin. That coming up on Monday. And the Americans close out against Germany.
Pervukin, the fellow you're looking at, is just great mobility. And watch him handle the puck, and he's an excellent shot from the point. And pinch. Twice in that first period, he was in behind the face-off spot.
Face-off in the American zone, back to the points. And a shot by Pervukin, deflected wide. This is Broughton clearing it out for the United States. Neil Broughton. Soviets dump it right back in. Bill Housley, head on the right side. Back for Housley. And Housley tried a right wing pass. Didn't quite work out that time. Gordy Roberts racing after it. Going against Svetlov. Roberts takes Svetlov out heavily into the boards. Housley for the United States. Over for Aaron Broughton. Broughton lets it play through to Neil Broughton. Center ice area now, claimed by the Soviets. Semyonnikov. Little sloppy in the center ice area now. For the United States, back behind the line for Gord Roberts, played there by Housley. This is Brian Lawton. In across the American line once more. And the Soviets, every man up. Back to the point now, winding up with a shot. Starikov, Barrasso to save.
The Soviets are still on the attack. They're not giving the Canadians any rest at all. There's Tom Barrasso, and I guess you'd wonder if he's going to play the whole series. There's a split screen with Chico Resch. Talked to Chico flying out from Buffalo the other day. He says, no, he said, I expected you in the one game. That'll probably be the last one against the West Germans. He said, I've been told that we're going to go with Barrasso through all the key games unless he doesn't perform. And Chico's very, very happy with that when he understands the theory and philosophy and why he's not doing something. He's a very congenial guy. Just a great guy to talk to and very knowledgeable goaltender.
And when we chatted, Howie seemed like he was enjoying himself in spite of the fact that he hadn't seen any activity. He says the team is fun to be with, and he'll wait his opportunity. Opportunity from the point there for Starikov from the face-off. Barrasso hangs on.
You got to talk about this fella.
Technich is the Soviet goalie. I can't find a vowel anywhere in his name. Alexander Technich.
Hey, I just think he's the guy that's hiding behind Tretjak's image. I watched it today, and I was most impressed with the way he's a big fella, got to be over 6 foot, but he moves lightning fast, has the stick on the ice all the time, and seems technically as sound as a dollar. I wonder when he'll get his chance.
Well, he had a chance against Germany the other night. Well, he played.
He just stood there for 60 minutes.
They didn't need the #1 guy in against the Germans the other evening. Soviets in across the American line. Back for it is Tom Hirsch, the big guy. Hirsch losing it along the boards. Lawton claims it now. Here's Lawton off the boards to the center ice area. Carpenter. Good chance for the Americans here. Carpenter tried to feed it through. And Ed Olchuk had an opportunity, but that time it couldn't get through the Soviet defense. Soviets right back, a backhand shot right in front. They score! How quickly they can make it happen. The Soviet Union into a 2-0 lead.
Just watch this Soviet team explode out of their own zone. This is the fella here. He really motored. Now he makes the pass to the man, to the trailer, way back out on the blue line. All right, now he'll throw it out in front, and Barrasso goes down, doesn't play it with his stick at all. He had to be standing up, played with his stick in an effort to make that second attempt. Now, there's no way in the world he should be falling down and reaching with it with his glove, and number 19 just dug it right out and put it in the net, no problem at all. But he certainly, Vernakov certainly earned it on his speed down that left wing.
So the Soviets move into a 2-0 lead on the Americans. Mikhail Varnakov has his second goal of the Canada Cup. Soviets in the lead, 2-0. Early moments of the second period here in Edmonton. United States had an opportunity just prior to the Soviet goal. Soviets quickly to the attack and came back and moved into a 2-0 lead. Now for Team America. David A. Jensen into the Soviet zone. Brook in there along with Christian, number 27. Soviets claiming the loose puck. Gimayev out across the line. Kozebnikov, number 29. Kozebnikov to the American line. Going around Chelios. Kozebnikov still in control of the puck. And still holding on. Kozebnikov finally bodied out of the play by Gord Roberts. And sloppy play in the American zone. This is Jensen. Couldn't quite reach that pass. Soviets right in across the line once more. Kasatonov, number 7. Or Kozebnikov. Kozebnikov, rather. Back to the point. Long shot. And it's out of play.
A few moments ago, number 29, Kojevnikov, but great big 6'6" that I told you about. You just see how he went behind the net, cut around in front, and just reached out and hid the puck by 6 seconds from the American checker.
Thank you.
2 minutes for high sticking.
Penalties one aside to Zubkov for high sticking from the Soviet Union and to Brook from Team USA for cross-checking the time, 3:50. So 4 skaters aside. Play in the American zone, and Team USA starts out once more. Led this time by Mike Ramsey. Ramsey tried to feed it through for Trottье. Intercepted neatly by Krutov. Vladimir Krutov starts back for the Soviets. At center ice, checked by Trottье. Now Trottье has problems against Makarov. Soviets back behind their own line. Long pass on the far side, on the near side, I should say, to Makarov. Makarov going down, gets a shot away. Barrasso makes the save. Makarov was taken out by Ramsey. Here's Phil Housley, Buffalo Sabres through the United States. And the Soviets have a good chance here. Long pass, too far for Krutov, who looked to have lots of open ice. The pass just missed the target. Now the Americans once more. Trottье ahead for Mark Johnson. Johnson leads it at the line. Getting set for the shot. Gordy Roberts going in. And right out in front, Mark Johnson. Another opportunity. Roberts. Back for Housley. Housley fired it wide. Now back to Roberts once more. 4 skaters aside. The Americans finally have some pressure on the Soviets. And jammed along the boards. Held there for a whistle.
I'll tell you, there was great action in front of the Soviet net for Pervukin and Trottье. They were going at each other, hammer and tong, but Pervukin, there's the pass out in front by Trottьye, and you had to be shooting this puck here. The Americans, when they do get possession of the puck, have to let it go. But finally, it was shot there and just off the net. Here's the goal again, and what you have to look here is normally Skvortsov, the man who's receiving this pass, would be heading for the net, but he's not. You see how he hung back, and they sent the first fellow in, they created open ice, and they passed that puck into the open ice, and the result was a goal.
Back to the live action now as Stelnov clears it behind his own goal. The Americans still with the pressure on in the Soviet zone. This is Starikov. Starikov waiting patiently. Now has his man. Svetlov. Svetlov checked by Langway. Loose puck played by Tom Hirsch. Hirsch for Langway. Langway tried to feed it ahead for Brian Erickson. It got there, but a little late. Sticks up a little high along the boards. Stelnov against Erickson. Down the ice, Mышкин has to make the save. Soviets back once more, quickly to the attack now as Svetlov clears it in around behind Barrasso. The Americans are there to claim it. This is Olchek along the boards. Olchek tried to get it for Latin, kept in by the Soviets. Number 9, Vladimir Krutov, and dumped in offside once more. Soviet Union leading Team USA 2-0. This is the second period from Edmonton. The Soviets have outshot the Americans 13-5. Through this stage of the second period, Howie, the Americans really, as you said before we went away, really have to start getting some shots on goal.
You know, I'm sitting here and become more and more convinced as the game unwinds here that the Soviets are a little too tough for them, too. That Pervukin a moment ago just caught an American forward coming out, and then number 4, Stelnov, just did the same thing. Their defense just hitting the tongue.
Skvortsov losing it to Olchek. Olchek backhands it to the center ice zone. Soviets reclaim and head back behind their own line. Now here's an opportunity for the Americans. Long shot, scores! Mike Ramsey! Mike Ramsey walked in all alone on the left side. Makes it 2-1.
Well, there's one of those cross-ice passes, and Ramsey read it coming, and he just moves in. You never move a puck. You shouldn't move a puck across ice like that, but Tussey just let that shot go, and the goaltender, Mышkin, for some reason or other, let it go, and that is some kind of a shot. It didn't hit the stick at all. Oh, right on that far side, and Mышkin certainly had to be on his feet and attacking that puck a lot quicker than he did.
Number 3, Mike Ramsey. The time, 6 minutes, 24 seconds.
So Mike Ramsey gets Team America within 1 goal of the Soviet Union. 13 minutes, 23 seconds to play. Second period here in Edmonton. Puck loose just in across the Soviet line. And picked up there by Svetlov for the Soviets. Svetlov over on the right side for Koznikov. United States Flipping it down, and it'll be called.
Well, John, I kind of think maybe a goal from that point might wisen up the Americans, shoot the puck at every opportunity, because they're passing it. The Soviets are getting back and taking away that potential pass receiver time and time again. Maybe the goaltending isn't as great as it's wrapped up to be, and they should put some sparks, some life, some jumps, some hops, something into Team USA, because up till now they just haven't played with that jump, that enthusiasm that they displayed the other night, or that they're going to have to display if they're going to beat this club somewhere along the line of the Canada Cup Championship.
Bilялетdinov of the Soviet Union and David A. Jensen of the United States off on dual penalty calls. So 4 skaters aside once more. Dave Christian losing the draw of the Soviets. Regrouping back behind their line. This is Gibayev. Gibayev to the blue line. Takes the shot. Barrasso to save. Christian. This is Dave Christian on the right side. And Johnson can't take a pass. Soviets start right back in the center ice zone. At the line, moving in. Kazevnikov, and he can't get anywhere. Soviets like to take it very deep to regroup. Kazevnikov once more, number 29. Barrasso out of his goal to play it behind. Over on the far side for Chris Chelios. Chelios losing control. Soviets back in command right out in front, and he couldn't get a shot away. Back to the point now. Winding up. It's blocked. That was Vasiliev winding up for the shot. And a chance for Tratche. Couldn't control the puck. Pervukin for the Soviets. And it's center ice. Working in Larionov. Fired it wide. Here's Tratche for the Americans once more. Tratche, a long pass, rink wide. And a drop pass for Tratche. Tratche couldn't make the play. Soviets in the center ice zone. This is Larionov. He lost it to Tratche. Tratche tries the long pass across 2 lines. Joe Mullen on the receiving end. And too many lines.
Now Team USA has, I guess, next to number 99, Gretzky, the thing seems to be missing in his repertoire so far this year. That's the hop. That's the jump. He's not skating the way I've seen Tratche skate.
Face-off just inside the American line. Bobby Carpenter gets it back for Mike Ramsey. This is Ramsey. He has the American goal so far. Back for Ramsey. Ramsey has problems coordinating with Carpenter. The Soviets right back to the American line. Working in. Semyonov. And it's tied up in a maze of players behind the American goal. So Soviet Union leading Team USA 2-1 halfway through the second period. Soviet Union now out of shooting Team USA 14-6. This is the 11:04 mark of the second period. 11 minutes 4 seconds still to play. And the Americans a little more life after that goal by Mike Ramsey. Face-off claimed by Gordy Roberts in around behind his own goal. Roberts waits to set it up. Now hit on the left side boards. Carpenter took a pretty good hit. He was spun around. Dumped right back in by the Soviets. Varnakov. Now Ed Olchuk racing after it for the United States. Chelios takes one man out of the play. Good play by Chelios. As he really slowed the Soviets down, they couldn't get an opportunity that looked like it was looming rather large for them with 2 men skating in across the line. Barrasso out to cover that one up.
Well, there's a little guy. Varnakov. A team, I think Glenn Sather and Team Canada have done the right thing in putting the team together. Whether they get it to work, fine, but you need speed, you need speed, you need speed to keep up with this Soviet club, and obviously Team Canada has it. Now, if they can make everything work.
This is Langway to center ice for the United States. Fires it in. Back to claim it for Vukin. Dangerously out in front. Langway can't keep it in at the blue line. And it's whistled down. High stick.
Another thing, folks, when you're watching this club and it's a one-on-one situation, and it's a Soviet player with the puck and he's being attacked by a Canadian, I don't think Canadians have ever seen, or Americans, I should say, or Americans playing in the National Hockey League, I don't think they've ever seen anybody who can change pace and stop and shift so quick. They miss them about, not completely, but they just get a small part of them 90% of the time. They have great maneuverability at high speed.
Cleared into the Soviet zone. Langway ahead for Aaron Broughton. Soviets dumping it quickly out. Barrasso will have to make a play. Broughton leaves it for Broughton. That's Neil Broughton leaving it for Aaron Broughton. Soviets, though, playing the loose puck in the center ice zone. Dump back in. Langway is the first man back for Team USA. Langway for Aaron Broughton. And once again, Soviets claim a loose puck in the neutral zone. Langway wrestling Kuzevnikov to the ice. And Broughton goes down as well for the Soviets. This is Bilyaletdinov. Working in that time, Vasiliev. And he was handcuffed by Rod Langway. 9:15 to play in the second period. The Americans trying to get even. They trail 2-1 to the Soviet Union. Back behind his own goal, Vladimir Krutov. Ahead on the left side. This is Larionov. Big collision. And it's golfed down the ice by the United States. Makarov. And his pass to the center ice zone to Krutov failed to materialize. Back for Team USA, Mike Ramsey. Here's Trattier going after a loose puck. Makarov beats him to it. Now Mullen comes up with it for the United States. Can't quite get out in front. Mullen reclaims it behind the Soviet goal. Held along the boards. Mullen still in there along with Trattier now. And there's going to be a penalty coming out. Trattier apparently will get the game. Here's Trattier. As he touches the puck, Mышкин out of the net. The penalty goes against Team USA. Braian Trottje off for roughing.
Well, things are getting, I think, just a little bit rough out there, but here Trottje comes in from behind, takes a run at the Soviet player, knocks him down pretty good. Pervukin it was. Here's the other end.
This is Christian clearing it to the center ice area. The Soviets are quick to claim the loose puck. Kazantonov ahead on the right side for Semyonov. Now Svetlov for the Soviets. Back to the point. The save by Barrasso. Another chance for Kazantonov, number 7. Back to the point. Kazantonov once more working in. This is Svetlov, number 16. Back to Kazantonov. And Christian comes up with it. Clears it down the ice. Kazantonov ahead for Svetlov. And that play broken up neatly by Gordy Roberts. Once more Svetlov, number 16. Back for Kazantonov at his own line. Kazantonov has Svetlov, and it's offside. Not by too much, Howie.
Well, the Soviet team have come down across over the red line, and then they work it over the blue line, usually along the boards, and then they cut to the center. Just a few moments ago, Mike Ramsey just spied it happening, and he cut through the middle, and fortunately the Soviet player just looked up in time. Otherwise, it would have been a tremendous collision. And certainly this is what happened. There it is right here. This is what they're doing all the time, and Ramsey comes across, and had he stayed on his feet and stayed solid, he would have made contact, but he jumped and left his feet. But that Soviet player very alertly had his head up.
Mышkin out of his goal to set it up back there for Kazantonov, number 7. He leads the Soviets out of their own zone. Larionov, number 11. And the Americans, with 48 seconds to kill out in Braian Trottje's penalty, have cleared it back to the Soviet zone once more. Larionov, center ice. Over on the right side for Krutov. Now for Kazantonov. And he can't get a shot away. Cleared out. Good move that time by Brian Erickson. Soviets keep coming, though. Starikov for Larionov, number 11. Larionov for Krutov. Krutov working in around behind the American goal. Over for Makarov, 24. Back to the point. Big shot and deflected high. The shot that time from Kazantonov, number 7. and it's high into the stand.
Well, Krutov had the puck in behind the net, running along the fence, and Ramsey took him out very, very well. Took him out hard, elbows high and everything else. And as they broke off, Krutov brought his stick right down over Ramsey's shoulder, and Ramsey looked around and I'm sure would have attacked him had not his team already been a man short. Things are chippy out there, folks. Lots of elbows, tremendous amount of stick work, and they're running at each other pretty good. This is going to be a contest, I think, survival of the fittest.
6 minutes, 24 seconds to play in period number 2 in Edmonton. The Soviets have a 1-goal lead on the Americans. Face-off in the U.S. zone. Carpenter against Semyonov. Americans controlling in their own zone, back at full strength now. Carpenter. Now Gord Roberts clears it to the center ice zone. Couldn't get it through to Christian. Now he does. Here's Christian one-on-one. There's a man out in front. Right on Trottье. Mышкin, big save. And Carpenter was there as well. Trottьe had the best opportunity.
What a pass Christian gave to Trottьe, and Trottьe will just explode up through the middle. Look at here. Christian cuts across, takes the man with him, puts it right on Trottьe's skip. And now he didn't get very much wood on that shot. I think he had to hurry it because the Soviet defender was coming in on him. But just an excellent scoring chance, a great pass by Christian, and there's the shot. Had it just a little bit higher, but Mышkin come out, fell down, was very lucky the rebound wasn't kicked in.
Oh, look at it. It was loose right in front of Mышkin there. After the initial couple of saves, it was lying right on the goal line, or right ahead of the goal line, and it was finally whistled down. This is Chris Chelios for the Americans. Chelios behind his own goal for Roberts. Roberts for Chelios. Chelios looked to find Brook in the open ice area. Now the Soviets claim it again. This is Varnakov. Right out in front. Makarov was there. Couldn't make a play. Chelios losing it at his own line. Soviets start in once more. Varnakov. Varnakov tried to feed Gibayev. And it's loose in the American zone. Picked up by Team USA. Going after it, Christian for the United States. He can't come up with it. Here come the Soviets. Good pass in the center ice zone. And Vasiliev had problems hanging on to it. Long pass for Aaron Broughton. And that failed to click for Team USA. Now, here's Brook. Brook back for Christian. Christian couldn't get the shot away. Good check by Gibayev. The side of the Soviet goal. And a shot by Brook. Blocked by several Soviets out in front. Now one-on-one chance for the Soviet Union. Skating up quickly. Perfect feed pass and a great save by Barrasso. As Vasiliev almost made the play to give the Soviets a big 2-goal lead. This is Neil Broughton to Aaron Broughton. Back behind the goal for Neil Broughton. Number 8, Broughton. Can't get it back to the point. And a penalty coming up. Looks like it'll be to the Soviet Union. Soviets currently with a 1-goal lead. Sergei Starikov is out for holding, and we'll see the Team USA power play in effect. Quickly, Langway keeps it in. Soviets are back on the attack. Langway claiming a loose puck just inside the American line. Good pass on the far side. This is Broughton. Aaron Broughton. Now, Neil Broughton, number 8. For Team USA, Aaron Broughton back to the point. That's Bill Housley. Housley tries to shuffle it in for Broughton. Gets it through to Neil Broughton. Now back to Langway. Langway has difficulty but keeps it in. Langway right out in front to the slot. Nobody there. And it's blocked by Housley just outside the line. The Americans regrouping in the center ice zone. This is Phil Housley dumping it once more into the Soviet zone. The American power play. Still with 1:10 to come up with the equalizer. Tom Barrasso setting it up for Langway. Here's Langway for Mark Johnson. Johnson dumping it in. Trottье racing after it. Back on the other side for Tervukin. Comes up with it for the Soviets. Now Mullen has it for the Americans. Back to the point. Here's Roberts. Roberts plays it to Chelios, far side. Chelios found his opportunity. And Krutov starts back for the Soviets all by himself. Vladimir Krutov finally stopped dead in his tracks in the USA zone. This is Chelios. Mышkin out of his net. Mark Johnson can't keep it in, and neither can Chelios all the way down. 25 seconds left in the American power play. Really not a good opportunity as far as scoring is concerned for the United States so far with this manpower advantage. Mark Johnson tries now, and across the line. Johnson with Tratche in front. 4 Soviets out in front of the net, though. Mullen had a chance. And the Americans can't keep it in. Just 4 seconds left in the advantage now. As it's stumped in by the Americans once more. Soviets now back at full strength. This is Makarov for the Soviet Union. Ahead for Starikov. Starikov. Back for Makarov. Makarov going in, looks to the backhand, clears it out in front, and blocked that time by Tratche, standing in front of Tom Barrasso. Soviet Union leading Team USA 2-1. 1 minute 52 seconds to play in the second period. The Soviets had a 1-0 lead after period 1. Just 3 goals so far this evening. And the action has picked up substantially here in the second period as far as the Americans are concerned. They're skating with much more effectiveness here in the second 20 minutes. Carpenter for the United States can't control it. Soviets in the center ice zone now. Cleared in. Lawton can't keep it in for the United States. The Americans fire it right back in. That was Phil Housley, but it was offside. Team is concerned in particular.
Yes, certainly. They played, I think, much better this period, but I think they have to be a little concerned about the Broughton-Eriksson line, and certainly Lawton, Olchek, and Carpenter really haven't done a thing out there so far this evening, and this club's going anywhere. They have to create some offense.
Well, the Soviet Union, Stelnov in across the American line, and Langway is back behind Barrassо. Ahead. Carpenter taking it on a glove ahead from Olchek there, so they whistle it down.
Well, this young fellow is going to be just, I think, a heck of a hockey player in the National Hockey League. He's just turned 21 potential. The American teams has a lot of youngsters who've played 1 or 2 years in the National Hockey League with stardom written all over them.
Bill Housley is one of those, Howie, of course, and there are several more, no doubt about it. Less than a minute to play in the second period. Soviets start the attack. Now at center ice. This is Koznikov. Barrasso the save, and here comes Langway. Langway tried to feed it in. It was blocked by Kazantonov at the Soviet line. Now Mark Johnson. Here's an opportunity. Johnson trying to feed it through for Joe Mullen. And the Soviet stick was in the way that time. Kazantonov takes the shot. Barrasso really didn't have to make much of a play on that one. Here's Langway behind his own goal. Backhanded out almost to the line by Mike Ramsey. Soviets still control. Shot right on. And that time, Barrasso had to be sharp as Gibayev had an opportunity. Not much to shoot at, but he was right there.
Well, the Soviets don't hesitate for a second just to move that defenseman or whoever, the last man out there, if it is the last man, into that deep slot to get the shot at the net. They're not afraid to take a chance, and I think that's just increased the spectator value, the entertainment value of their hockey club 100%. Years and years ago, they didn't used to shoot it in. They didn't used to control the offensive corners. Now they do that very well, and they're just a great machine to watch.
Shots on goal, 21-8 through 2 periods, favoring the Soviets. 9 seconds left here in the second period. Loose puck in the Canadian, or in the American zone. Semyonov had a chance, but after 2 periods, it's 2-1.
John, as you sit here, and I guess as you listen to me in particular, you think that we've got a perfect example here of great pursuit of the puck by number 19, Mikhail-Varnakov. You know, the Soviets have shaved off the toe of their sticks, an awful lot of them. The key to good puck handling, folks, is to be able to keep the full blade of your hockey stick on the ice. Only then can you control the puck. It's very difficult to do when maneuvering like the pros. The key to most Canadians is the short stick. Just look at the toe of his stick. He puts himself onside here. Now, this is slow motion. He's really moving that stick, but watch the key all the time. Look, the full blade of the stick on the ice. Now, watch when he gets it up on the toe. It doesn't go under the toe. He makes a great move right here, look, right on the toe of the stick, hangs onto it. Look, there's white jerseys all around the place. Would you believe that? And the guy makes a pass to a guy in the slot. That is good puck handling, and I guess part of the reason is shave off the toe of the stick.
21-8 shots on goal, Howie, and the Soviets held the Germans to just 10 shots on goal through 3 periods the other night. Soviets overwhelming winners in that one. The final score was 8-1. In other action in the Canada Cup today, Sweden over Germany 4-2, and Canada came back and got back on the right foot with a 7-2 victory over the Czechs. Third period action underway. And for the Soviets, Kazantonov, Mullen, and now ahead for Tratje. Tratje taking the Soviet player out heavily along the board, and Zubkov felt that one. Here's Kazantonov for the Soviets across the American line. Backhands it in behind Barrasso. Mullen headed to an open wing. No one there but Soviets. And across the American line once more. Barrasso out to set it up. Plays it ahead on the right side boards. Mullen can't handle it. Now Tratje does. Tratje, backhand pass for Mark Johnson. Johnson couldn't get across the line, but dumped it in anyway. This is Pervukin for the Soviets. Loose in the center ice zone. Soviets there to claim it. Lariana outside with a big hit. Mike Ramsey has hurt Lariana.
Well, folks, I said a little earlier the value of good bodily contact and the value of Bryan Trottje. You have him to start each period. And just watch this. This is Zubkov going into the boards, and he hears the pitter-patter of little feet, and oh, did that hurt, because he just went right off the ice. That is total punishment. And Mike Ramsey, when he made that bodily contact a little while ago, he got out of the way there, I think, a little bit. Now, here's the other one right here. Cut to the middle to come across. He didn't leave his feet that time. He lined him up and run into him. That's the difference. And I'll tell you, when you sit on the bench and see that type of punishment, legal punishment, going on the ice, that will pick up your team tremendously. On the other hand, the Soviets are thinking, holy ho, 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 fellas, maybe it's going to hurt to touch that puck now and again. And I would think those two Czechs, if the United States team can put things together here, will have a lot to do with it. That's great hockey when you check like that.
Lariana being attended to at the Soviet bench. Play back underway. Backhanded in by Semyonov for the Soviets. 2 Soviet players collide there. And Ramsey got out of the way just in time. Here come the Americans down the left side. Fed into the middle. Broughton couldn't get to it, as Semyonov was there for the Soviets. Out across their own blue line now. Led by Yashin, number 25. Dumped right back in by Aaron Broughton. And the Soviets regroup behind their own line. This is Yashin. Yashin to the American line. Can't get around Langway. Now right back to the point. Pervukin gets the shot. Barrasso the save. And starting back, Tom Hirsch can't get away. Out across the line. And picked up by Pervukin. Dumped into the American zone by Semyonov. And it's Langway regrouping for Team USA. Ahead for Olchek. Olchek dumping it in. Carpenter races after it. In behind the Soviet goal. Kovin. And Carpenter kicks it back in across the Soviet line. Stelnov. Crashed into the boards. This is Carpenter for Team USA. And a costly mistake there as Varnakov starts back for the Soviets. Varnakov going in. Can't get a shot past the defense. That was Chelios standing up for the Americans. Igor Stelnov had a problem back behind his own goal. Now it's ahead on the right side for Skvortsov. Center ice. Claimed by Gibayev. Shot right on Barrasso. Didn't see it come down.
Very lucky there. It didn't hit his arm and fall in behind him.
Christian for Team USA. At the line. Brook can't take the pass. He takes the man. For Christian. And he was offside at the Soviet line. 6:49 to play in period 3. Just one goal separating the states and the USSR. Back behind the American line, that's Ramsey for Housley. And dumped back into the Soviet zone once more. Offside, or icing, I should say.
Well, I'll tell you, you're looking at Mike Ramsey, who was very, very lucky to get out of the way. You got to give the Soviets credit. They're not going to fold up their tent and sneak off into the night. Watch two of them coming at him here. You make our fellows pay the price. We're going after you. But he had his head up and he got out of the way. Ho, ho, ho. For the first time, the Americans are not only making the puck carrier pay the price, but the much departed puck carrier. After he's made the pass, they still have to finish the check on him. They haven't so far tonight, but that's really what counts, finishing the check on the guy that you get off the puck. If they keep doing that, this thing could liven up.
Bill Housley. Head on the right side. Across a couple of lines. Joe Mullen tipped it in. Ramsey has been very effective for the United States so far this evening.
He certainly has, and I thought he played himself a heck of a hockey game in Buffalo the other night as well. He's playing in front of his hometown fans, and he not only played a punishing game or a tough game of hockey, he played a very skillful one. He was excellent with the puck.
Ramsey also getting credit for the only American goal, 6:24 of the second period, unassisted. 2-1, Soviets lead the Americans, 16:21 to play in the third period. Bill Housley. For Mike Ramsey. Ramsey for Mullen. He can't get anywhere in the center ice zone. Trottье up against Kazevnikov. Still a loose puck in the neutral zone. Now the Soviets claim it. Gibayev. Ahead for Vasiliev. Vasiliev going right in. Barrasso stands his ground. Tom Barrasso. And they're all around the young netminder from the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, Vasiliev made himself a heck of a play. He walked around the defender, took the puck from outside to inside. He tried to go high in the short side, and Barrasso, I think it hit him on the shoulder. But watch him cut here. He takes the puck to the outside, then brings it in after he beats the checker and try to get it upstairs. And Barrasso, very, very fortunate young man. He's 6'4". He gets down on his knees, and like Bill Dern and the old Montreal Canadiens, he protects about 2/3 of the net, even on his knees.
Mikhail Vasiliev is the injured Soviet player.
Well, he took a pretty good belt.
He had a knee injury the other night against the German team, but is back and playing tonight.
Look at this.
Oh, Trottье got him.
Isn't he a punishing hockey player?
Larionov, who was injured a few moments ago, is back on the ice for the Soviets. Face-off claimed by the Americans. Erickson dumping it in. After it, Erickson and Aaron Broughton. Now Neil Broughton comes in. Holding it in for Team United States. Now back to the line. Hirsch can't control it. Finally has to take the Soviet player heavily into the boards. And the puck with it. Pervukin started out. And we're going to have penalties here. 2-1. Soviets lead the United States. Dual penalties. Krutov for roughing. Erickson for roughing. 4:29.
The penalties to Team USA number 24.
There you see it along the boards.
That's a pretty good spear in the tummy. That's a no-no.
2 minutes each for roughing. The time.
So 4 skaters aside. Soviets back behind their own line. Pervukin, number 5. Ahead for Makarov, 24. Makarov circling. Pervukin has it now. And back for Makarov quickly. This is Langway for the United States. Back behind his own goal for Housley. Housley playing it back for Langway. Larionov, number 11, injured a few moments ago, back out there for the Soviets. And here comes Langway to his own line. Winds up the shot right on Mышкин. And he'll hang on. Americans all over the place, and Mышkин decided he'd hang on to that one.
There's Larionov, number 11. He got an injured knee, or at least we think it was an injured knee. The Soviet trainer just took down the shin pad, put on an ice pack, put the shin pad back, stock it over top, and he's out there the next shift. Quick cure. And number 3, Zubkov, who took that punishing check from Trottье right off the start of the period. He's back out there playing as well and dishing it out. They don't back up.
A minute 12 seconds left in the penalties, Howie. This is Starikov running into number 12, Mark Johnson, a pair of 12s colliding down there. Christian can't get to it for the United States behind the Soviet goal. And here come the Russians once more. Semyonov. Svetov, number 16, losing it. And the United States, led by Christian. Christian winding up with a shot. Mышkin the save, the rebound, almost right back on Christian's stick. He keeps it in for the United States and then has it poked away. After it, Semyonov, and a pass across in front for Svetov. Could have been dangerous, but not quite. Here's Christian once more for the United States, stopping. Now for Chelios. Chelios has to circle at the line. 17 seconds left in the penalties. Ramsey up along the boards, intended that one for Housley. Soviets in the center ice area. Good pass for Skvortsov. Skvortsov still has it across the line, back this time for Kazatona. And broken up by the Americans. Here's a good opportunity. Brian Erickson can't get across the line. Erickson once more. This time to the line. Good play. Mullen can't get a shot. Trottье goes in after it. Trottьe against Kazatona. Now back behind the line to Trottье. Back to the point. Housley winds up. Big shot just wide. Pressure from the Americans. Erickson keeps it in. Trottье out in front. Oh! Housley had an opportunity. Couldn't get the shot away. Soviets start back. Varnakov, 19, still has it going in against Carpenter and tried to center it. Out across the line. And the Americans, opportunities here. This is Ramsey. Hand on the shot. Soviets clearing it to center ice. This is Skvortsov. Barrasso sets it up for Langway. He missed his man. It's all the way down the ice. Icing called against the United States. 2-1. The Soviets leading the Americans in period number 3. 12 minutes, 15 seconds to play in the third period. Soviets out shooting the Americans 24-10, but they only lead by 1 goal at this stage. It's 2-1. That's Tom Hirsch behind the American goal. Waiting for Langway. Back for Hirsch. And back for Langway once more. Head on the left side for Carpenter. Now this is Hirsch. Hirsch to the Soviet line. Fires it in. Mышkin had to be sharp on that one. And fired high and over the boards, or over the goal by Olchuk. More pressure from the Americans. Olchuk claiming it along the boards. Turning around, working himself out in front. Right out in front, Mышkin made the save from a very sharp angle. Had to steer it aside. Olchuk tried to jam it in on the short side. Bobby Carpenter was there. And another pile-up of players. It's been whistled down, of course. Who had the best chance, Howie?
That's the most sustained pressure that any line has put on the Soviets so far. They've controlled the puck in behind the net and had 2 or 3 not real good chances, but anytime you throw them across in front of the net, there's all kinds of people in that area. It's liable to hit somebody and liable to go in, but I would think if Team USA can get a couple more shots like that, put a line together. That time it was Carpenter, Lawton, and Olchuk that created most of the damage, and another repeat performance, you never can tell. Again, I'm very, very much impressed with Mike Ramsey's play tonight. Rod Langway, what can you say about him? Trottье has not been that great offensively, but has he been a super checker? And I think Christian's handled the puck as much as any Canadians and made a contribution on offense.
Neil Broughton at center ice for the United States. Can't get the draw that time. It's picked up from the faceoff by Stelnov. And ahead quickly for Larionov. Back for Krutov. Krutov, number 9. Takes a shot blocked by Gordy Roberts. Roberts controls. Gets it to the line. Not out. And this is Krutov once more. Krutov, sharp angle. Barrasso the save. Neil Broughton. Broughton into the neutral zone. Can't connect with number 24, Brian Erickson. Now Erickson comes up with it. Good play to keep it onside. Mышkin the save. More pressure from the Americans now. Larionov to the line. Still has it. Larionov leaving it for Krutov. Krutov goes down. Soviets still control. Back for Zubkov. Zubkov working in, takes the shot. Just wide. Carpenter takes a hit, but clears it to the center ice zone. Picked up there by Neil Broughton, and it's offside. Halfway through the third period at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton now. 10 minutes, 32 seconds to play. The Soviets in control of a one-goal lead. The Americans looking much crisper here in the early going of the third period. Soviets in across the line. This is Yashin, number 25. Got it out front. Still loose out there and flipped high over the goal by Semyonov. Yashin backhands it into the corner and comes up with it. Kept in by Zubkov. Now Trottье back to the United States. Ahead for Trottье now. Here's Mullen going in. Joe Mullen. Oh, Mышкин. Vladimir Mышкin, save of the night. Mullen was all alone. The Americans much better scoring opportunities here in the third period. They still try to get even. Soviets in across the line. Weak shot that time by Semyonov. Now the Americans once more. This is Mullen. Just missed on the breakaway opportunity. That time there were 4 Soviets all around. Kazatona, number 7. Head on the right side for Varnakov. That play broken up. Now Christian back for Langway. Into the center ice zone. Soviets dumping it right back into the American territory. Langway wrestling out the check from behind. Point shot by Pervukin. It was weak. Soviets keep coming. This is Kovin trying to get across the line. Taken out by Hirsch. Now Lawton for the Americans. Dumping it in. After it, Olchek. And beaten to the puck that time by Pervukin. 2-1, Soviets leading the U.S. Just under 9 minutes remaining in the third period. Chelios keeps it in for the United States from the face-off. Back for it for the Soviets. Starikov. Back to Chelios. Chelios didn't shoot that time. Tried to feed a gentle pass in for Erickson right out in front. And Mышкин. Once more, 2 big saves by Mышkin in the third period. Soviets on the attack again. This time it's Vasiliev, 28, and Barrasso at the other end comes up with a save. Broughton has trouble. Now it's out across the line. The Soviets a little mix-up just inside the American line. Soviets regrouping back in their own zone. This is Starikov, number 12. He can't get across the line. So Givayev tries. Pass right to the line for Koznikov. Right out in front. The Americans start back. Led by Housley. Housley to the Soviet line. Checked neatly off the puck that time by Givayev. This is Krutov. Krutov, perfect pass, far side. And that time, Makarov couldn't come in. Neatly taken out of the play by the American defense. Loose once more in the center ice zone. Soviets reclaim. Krutov to the American line, leaving it there for Makarov. Makarov shot right on. Barrasso the save. And Krutov was standing right on the doorstep.
Well, now this thing has really opened up. But at the other end, Mышkin. We said earlier at the top of the show, can he replace the great one? Trottье just makes a super pass here to Mullen. Look at right on his stick. Mullen's home free. Watch Mышkin stay right out there. Stay backs up a little bit. Lets him make the play and gets that left leg in front of it. But that save, folks, was nothing to this one. Look at the pass out from behind the net. Right on Ericsson's stick. He one-times it, and look at the glove save. How about that? That is great goaltending. Twice in a row.
7 minutes, 18 seconds to play. Period 3. The Soviets on the attack again. Svetlov. And that play broken up by Langway. Now Lawton feeds it ahead on the left side for Christian. Christian can't get to it. Langway reclaims for the United States back at his own line. Christian dumping it in for the United States. Mышkin out to set it up. And here come the Soviets once more. This time it's Semyonov. And offside called at the American line. A bit of a collision down there. Soviets continue to hang on to a 1-goal lead. The Soviets have now outshot the Americans 27-14, but what's more important, only a 1-goal difference on the scoreboard. 2-1, the Soviets leading the Americans. Winner tonight takes over first place in the Canada Cup standing. Icing called against Team USA, 6:33 to play.
Well, whatever Bob Johnson said to his Chargers between the second and third period certainly, I think, has influenced the way they played here. I would imagine, John, that they wanted to really get out there and play good offensive hockey and take that Soviet team at every opportunity, but the Soviets just had too much foot too early, and in fact, the Soviets were the one that was dealing out as much bodily contact as the Americans. And now they've sort of caught up to them, and they've had a couple of good scoring chances. If Joey Mullen could put the puck in the ocean off the Galdarn Wharf, the Americans would have a lead. He's had 3 excellent scoring chances, and they blew them all.
Gordy Roberts for the United States, starting out from behind his own goal. This is Neil Broughton. Broughton, number 8, to the Soviet line and in. Broughton leaving it there for Chelios. Chelios dumps it into the corner. Broughton is after it, so is Erickson. Pinching in from the other side is Roberts. Gets it out in front. No one there for the Americans. Broughton struggling along the boards. Cleared out. And Chelios has to race back forward against Kovin, number 31 for the Soviets. Here come the Americans, center ice. This is Erickson across the line. And the Soviet defense standing up extremely well. No real opportunity for the Americans there. Soviets into the center ice zone, or will it go all the way down? Waved off. Trottье dumping it off the board. Soviets back in control. That's Zubkov, head on the right side. And that pass on the left side failed to work. Housley was the reason for that for Team United States. Here's Kuzevnikov going in the pass perfectly for Vasiliev. A great defensive play by Mike Ramsey. Ramsey sprawling.
He's done everything tonight, hasn't he?
Scored the goal. Made some hits. Mышкин falls on a loose puck in the Soviet zone with 5 minutes, 11 seconds to play. Americans not out of this one yet, are they, Howie?
No, they're certainly not. This has been just a tremendous third period, and as I said, it's been excellent goaltending, but that Mышkin just made 3 or 4 very good saves, and then it went right down the other end, and Barrasso was, I think, forced to make his 2 toughest stops, and he made them very, very well. By golly, you know, they're tremendously skilled hockey players, aren't they?
So quick.
Yeah.
And so hard to knock off balance, too. They, in spite of some of the hitting tonight, the Soviets have come out taking a little bit of punishment to the body, but they're still standing after a big hit. Langway keeping it in for the United States. Christian out in front. And Mышkin made the save. I don't know if he really realized that he'd made the save on Lawton.
Well, he was very, very lucky there. Normally, he hangs onto that short side, and the stick should be on the ice. Now, there's the pass out. He backs up. It goes in behind the net. Watch, it'll be thrown out here. That pass should never get out there, but it got by his stick and got caught in his feet and made another pretty good stop. A little bit of luck attached to it, but I think earlier when I said they're tremendously skilled hockey players, the Reds as well as the Whites. Really,
no question.
American Hockey Club have played very, very well tonight. They've had some outstanding performances from about 5 different guys. And the one that's really surprised me, I said when he learns to play defense, young Housley, he has played very well without the puck tonight. Here's danger.
Krutov over on the right side for Makarov. He's ridden out by Langway. Out in front, Langway is there for the United States. Langway starts the charge ahead for Lawton. Lawton dumps it in. And going after it, Olchek on one side. Christian on the other. Comes out of a maze of players. Back for Langway. Langway can't keep it in. And that could have been dangerous with Langway going down. But the Soviets had no players in the open ice. Mышkin guides it aside. Soviets taking their time, coming out of their own zone with 4 minutes, 21 seconds to play. Pressure on the Americans now to get the equalizer. U.S. outshot 27-16 by the Soviets at this stage of the third period. Loose in the open ice area, picked up by Semyonov. Semyonov dumping it into the American zone, and it's cleared around and up and over the glass. So we'll whistle it down there. 4:03 to play in the third period. Face off in the American zone. And Neil Broughton comes up with it. Put it all the way down. Race racing after it for the Soviets. Stельнов. Right out in front for Starikov. He starts to move the Soviets offensively. Some confusion. Neutral zone. Dumped right back in by the Americans. Going after it, Carpenter. And it's called for too many lines.
I think if we got time here, we just got a great play. Just watch Makarov one-on-one on Lengway. Watch this. He'll put it between his legs. Look right here. Between his legs. Now pick it up and put it back the other way. Look at this. Had he not run out of brink and had Lengway not just taken the man for a second, put his eye down on that puck, you could bet your bottom dollar Makarov has a heck of a try on goal. But aren't they cute with that stick? Inside, outside, inside. They give you every opportunity to goof. If you do, you're in trouble.
Actually, though, Lengway played it pretty well against a very starry hockey player because he stayed with the man.
He sure did. He didn't look at the puck.
Mike Ramsey. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to play. Final period in Edmonton. Trottье. Ahead for Mullen. And Mышкин is out to sprawl on that one. Mышkin not taking any chances. He has sprawled on a couple. But we won't fault him for that because he's made some outstanding saves, particularly on Mullen on the breakaway.
Well, this game could quite easily be 2-2, even 3-2 USA. He's made 3 outstanding saves in this period alone, and I think he's had maybe on the night 5, real good, tough chances. Mullen had him beat on one and couldn't put it in, but other than that, it's been sharply attacked.
It's Trottьe against Kovin for the Soviet Union. Back to the point. Lengway has it, fires it in. Blocked by the defense. That was Zubkov, number 3. Soviets out across the line, and the play broken up quickly by Mark Johnson. Into the Soviet zone once more. Johnson goes into the corner after it. Mullen can't keep it in, but it hit a Soviet and stayed across that side of the line regardless. And a penalty to Braian Trottье coming up. He doesn't quite understand why.
I think he's got away with a couple of borderline checks so far this evening. A lot of NHL games and playoffs, they would have been penalties. Let's take a look at this. I was writing some notes. That's a little bit of charging from behind. There's no doubt in the world. No one should have the audacity to question that. The guy standing against the fence, fine. You might get away with that, or if he's half turned towards you, you might get away with it. But it's back on 3 feet from the fence, and Trottьe tries to make him part of the fence. 2 minutes.
So that puts the Americans up against a bit of a wall with just 3 minutes to play in this hockey game and trailing by a goal.
We've spoken quite a bit about number 9, Krutov, tonight, but he is just like Gretzky. That puck comes to him. When he's on the ice, he has it 2/3 of the time.
In the American zone, Chelios battling for it. Back to the point. Played off the board. Zubkov keeps it in for Krutov. He lets it go by for Makarov. Soviets getting set to make this power play work. Krutov against Chelios. Now Roberts comes in to help out. Roberts comes up with the puck for the Americans. He's paying for it along the boards.
That was to happen in an alley in any big city in Canada or the United States. That'd be mugging, wouldn't it?
I would think so. Rod Lynch, the referee tonight.
Both sides are accepting the fact that that's what's going to happen. And again, the officials are letting it go. And this period has been very, very entertaining. A lot of things on the borderline. You can call an awful lot of them and maybe spoil the hockey game. And I think Wicks has done an excellent job.
1:24 left in Trottьe's penalty. 2:24 left in the third period. Face-off will be in the American zone. Christian at center ice for Team USA.
It's going to be interesting to see what Tihonov, the coach, says about this has been a rough hockey game. His reaction to it tomorrow.
Soviets take the drive. Zubkov. Now, Larionov. Back for Zubkov. Kazatona, the Soviets controlling very well right out in front, and what a glorious opportunity missed by Larionov. He just fired it wide. 1:05 left in the penalty to Trottьe. The Americans clear it down the ice.
2 minutes to play in the hockey game.
This is Carpenter. For Lengway, over his stick. Mike Ramsey is there. 50 seconds left in the penalty to Trottье. 1:47 now left in the hockey game. This is Kazantonov, number 7 for the Soviets, to the line and across. Over for Krutov. Back in for Larionov in the play. Broken up neatly that time by Brian Erickson. 30 seconds left in the penalty. Kazantonov ahead for Yashin, number 25. Now back for Pervukinen. And the Soviets get it back into the American zone once more. Yashin, 25, can't control it. Along the boards, that's Mark Johnson for the United States. 5 seconds left in Trottier's penalty. Chelios, Trottier back on the ice. This is Chelios down the right side. Less than a minute to play, third period. Mark Johnson, good pass. Here's Johnson going right in. Johnson can't get the shot away. Or did Mышkin save it? Lots of traffic out in front there. 46 seconds to play. The Soviets have a 1-goal lead. Threatening once more here as Svetlov controls in the American zone. Now, Team USA starting back. This is Mullen. Has Trottier on the open side. 33 seconds to play. Trottier can't get to it. And the Soviets. Semyonov. Long pass from Semyonov to Varnakov. And it'll come back with 26 seconds on the clock.
John, Mark Johnson did make a great play to get 15 feet in front of Mышkin, but I'm sure he made the save. The puck hit him in the pad, dropped at his feet, and he got a stick on it and put it in the corner. But it was an excellent scoring opportunities by the Americans.
And it's Team USA gathered around Coach Bob Johnson for the instruction on how to play the final 26 minutes. Or 26 seconds, I should say.
They've done pretty well the final 26 minutes.
Yeah, there'll still be a pretty good chance.
Yeah. You know, you take away that early opening goal. A lot of people say it was an accident. It wasn't a planned play, and it would never happen again. I'm not so sure about that, but certainly it did go in at very early in the contest. And since then, the Soviets have dominated, and I would think puck control and shots on net. But if you analyze the game when it's all over, as Bob Johnson will do, I'm sure, in the long run, the Americans had, particularly in this period here, and I think throughout the whole game, the better scoring chances. Watching the Soviet team, you're like sitting on a time bomb, and you don't know when the darn thing's going to go off, and yet the Americans have played extremely well. They've stopped that time bomb from exploding.
2-1 right now. 26 seconds to play. Tom Barrasso heads back to the goal of the American goal.
I'm surprised they haven't got him out of there. You know, they may as well take a crack at it. What's the difference? 2-1, 3-1.
The face-off is outside the Soviet line, but I guess Bob Johnson figures once he gets it in, Barrasso will come out. Trottier can't get the draw. Now it's cleared back into the American zone with 18 seconds to play. USA rather slow in making that play develop, but they will get a face-off, what they were looking for, in the Soviet zone. And Tom Barrasso skates over to the American bench. So it'll come down to the final 15 seconds.
Trottier comes to the right face-off zone down here. He wants it there so he can draw to the middle, but Wick says no, gall darn way. It's over on the left-hand side, so I wouldn't be a bit surprised someone else goes in there to take the face-off, or if the Soviets put someone in there who's drawing to the goaltender, drawing to his backhand, maybe Trottier will go with him and just slap it at the net.
Shots on goal favoring the Soviets 27-17, but on the scoreboard it's much closer than that. Into the final few seconds, the Americans down by a goal. Next game for the Soviets is against Canada on Monday, and for the United States, they'll line up against Germany also on Monday. The Soviets have called a timeout now to regroup. Big win for Canada today, 7-2 over Czechoslovakia, and that puts Canada, at least until this game ends, into a second-place tie with the United States with 5 points. The Soviets have 6 points and lead the tournament right now. Canada Cup '84 scoreboard earlier today. As we mentioned, 7-2 Canada over Czechoslovakia, and Sweden over Germany 4-2. That was the first second victory for Team Sweden. The Germans have yet to win a game in this tournament. Their last crack will be against the United States, and that on Monday. Team Canada got it together, Howie, a little bit better today. The offensive power finally came through against Czechoslovakia. 7 goals.
Well, they have all that tremendous offensive skill, and I wouldn't worry about offensive at all if I was in charge of the hockey club, and I'm sure Coach Glenn Sather isn't worried about it. It's bound to happen. It's bound to explode. It's how they play behind their blue line that's going to win or lose for them, and so far they've had pretty good goaltending, and if everybody comes back behind the blue line, does their job there, the other end will look after itself.
So the crucial face-off will be to the right of Vladimir Mышkin. Trottье does win the draw. Back for Lengway. Lengway clears it in front just wide. And Chelios moving in. Chelios shot. And the Soviets regain control in their own zone and dump it out. 4 seconds on the clock, and that will be the old ball game. Lengway, one futile shot all the way down the ice. And the Soviets hang on to a 2-1 lead over the United States. An entertaining hockey game. The Americans came